And please welcome our next speaker, Nguyen Khanh. Please welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are you? Thank you for having me. And I'm Khanh Bang, your speaker today. Well, to begin with, I want to ask you some simple questions. You ready? Okay. Have you ever played video game before? Why no? Have you ever played video game before? Or at least, if you haven't played it, know how they work. Have you ever played Minecraft, Mario Kart, Pokemon Go? Okay, I see a few hands in here. Thank you. And let me break it down for you. In the game, when you level up, there are usually some shiny effect, cool music background, and your character feel instantly stronger. That's such an amazing feeling. But then, for such a long time, I thought that leveling up and the real life would ultimately come with a huge confidence boost and maybe some invisible confetti too. But, spoiler alert, real life doesn't give you any of them. Instead, it's gonna hand you a task bill, a heavy, burning, invisible task bill. Wait, but I have a good news. The task bill actually has a name, and it is called Imposter Syndrome, as you can see on the board behind me. And now we got the name, but how can we truly understand about it if we do not really know how it truly hit you? When it's gonna look like when it's hit you, right? So let me show you how imposter syndrome hit me. Okay, let me welcome you to these two versions of myself. The first one on the left is me. Hi, I'm Khanh Bang, a 7-year-old Gen Z trying to prove herself. On the outside, I am the founder of Sally the Photo, Sally the Handmaid. I am an English tutor, and I'm also a good student with some cool certificates too. But to answer the questions, is that all about me? The answer is not at all. I am also this version too. And let me tell you the story of this one. Okay, so last year, my bubble burst completely. Okay, my two started business made zero profit, even though I tried really hard. And every single time I look at the zero revenue spreadsheet, I didn't only see a failed business. I also saw proof that I am a fraud, a completely fraud. And at that time, there was a voice screaming inside of my head. This one said like this: "See, I told you before, you cannot do this one. Quick it up." And everyone was going to know that you are such a loser, and your past success is just a pale look. So, every single time I listen to my voice inside of the head, no, it's not a really good feeling. I was so terrified. I was terrified of posting anything online. I was completely paralyzed by the fear of being exposed. Then I thought that, okay, then this is my destiny. I would have stuck in this dark place forever. But until my friend Nguyen Khanh came and it forced me to research more about what is going on with both of us. And I realized that, hey, we are suffering from the same monster. So what is that monster? Let's decode it together with me. Okay, so to know more about the monster, let me tell you a little bit about Nguyen Khanh. Okay, well, 3 months ago, Nhi had just been selected as our school biggest event club. But instead of celebrating, she was calling me, telling me, and crying, "But I couldn't do this one. Do not tell me. I will quit it up." You know what? Everyone else is so pros, and I'm such a loser. I qualified during the interview. And you know what? Listen to her voice. It's got me chills because it sounded exactly like the voice inside of my head. And at that time, I knew one fact that she is brilliant. So I could not let her throw away her opportunity like that. That's just a moment I decided to do like any no more experiment would do. I frantically Googled, "Hey Google, why do smart people feeling stupid when they reach their success. And then after a late night research, the rabbit hole, I discovered that we were suffering from imposter syndrome. And imposter syndrome is not a personal failure. It's actually a psychological epidemic. Simply, as you can see on the board, it is the feeling like a fraud despite all of your success. And you know what? I also found out that me and my friend were suffering from the Instagram story trap too. What is that? Well, it means that when we compare our chaotic, burning behind the screen with people polished highlight reel, but in fact that everyone else is secretly burning. But because people act so cool in their lives, so we thought that we is the only glitch. So that is all about imposter syndrome, right? No, not yet. I do not want to give up on this. I desire for more knowledge. So that is the moment I learned about this graph. Let me introduce you to the Dunning-Kruger effect graph. Okay, but I only want to show you half of it first. And let me show you how this works. Okay, you see the vertical line going up is the confidence, which means that how good you think you are. And the horizontal line going forwards is the competent, which means how much you actually know and experience. Now, pay attention to the up there, the first peak, the mouse stupid. Okay, talk a little bit about this mouse stupid. I want to walk you through using my own experience, my own startup journeys. Okay, so about the mouse stupid. First, when I first launched selling the photo or selling the handmade, I thought that running a business easy. I can do not only one, but two at the same time. And I thought that I just needed to take some cute photos, post some cute stuff about my product, my customer to Instagram, and suddenly customer will call in, money will roll in. Okay, that is the mouse stupid. And you know what? People standing here where the competition is basically zero, but the confidence is straight to the sky and they feel invincible. You know, because like we are blind to the complexity of the real world. But I didn't stay there. I moved forward on the competition line. And that's the moment I started working my business properly. Suddenly I had to deal with the customer, with the service with the customer, real marketing, and expensive camera equipment. Well, the moment the real work hit me, my confidence crashed. I felt hard, and I landed down here in the valley of despair. Well, I have to admit this one. At that time, I was sitting at my absolute bottom. My startup business, they made zero profit, almost went bankrupt. So I thought that I would give up, but this is the crazy part. I didn't. I didn't give up. I gave myself another chance. And then I started to find a way to work everything out. I tried to fix everything. Eventually, the customers started coming back and my business recovered. Well, that's such a good thing, right? Then suddenly everyone else covered me, telling me that, Bang, you're such a young, talented founder. But instead of happy or celebrating, I was terrified. I was terrified again. But you know what? Because I couldn't erase all of the memory of my failures, even though I had bowed back, I still feel like I was scamming everyone else who believed in me. Since at that time, I looked at this graph and I understood one truth. Let me tell you this one. Feeling small doesn't mean that you are falling. It actually means that your world got bigger. And the imposter syndrome that you are suffering right now is not the receipt of your fakeness. It's actually the task you need to pay for leveling up. And my dear friends, I also recognize this one. The fire only burns who are in it learning. So I realized that I am not a fraud. I am not a defective product. But what should I do next? Then it leads me to the next stage of the graph, the slope of enlightenment. And let me tell you this one. Climbing this slope requires you a completely different mindset. Well, when I realized that I wasn't a defective product, I started change. I changed my current mindset, and let me tell you how did I do that. First, I learned about acceptance. I gave myself permission to breathe and to become a beginner again. Everyone else have their starter, my friend. And second, I learned about mastery. I get the mastery. Instead of taking photo by look, I obsessed over the technical rules, cameras. I learned about marketing. I learned about graph. And I build my skills step by step, day by day. The final thing, this is interesting to find. I gain the connection, not only with my people, not only with my customer, but with myself. I stopped pretending to be perfect. I sold my skirt and I told everyone else, yes, I admit this one, I messed up. But I'm fixing it now. So I'm telling everyone else in here, even though we make a lot of mistakes, but we still need to find a way to get through it. And this is why we come to the next stage, the plateau of sustainability. Bring it to this one. Okay, so this is the final stage of the graph. And now standing here, I want to tell you the secret of this final stage. Reaching the plateau does not mean you become a flawless person. It actually means that now you accept yourself more. Until now, I am not a perfect founder. I'm not the perfect student. And I'm not the perfect Gen Z I want to become. But the difference is now I accept it. I am no longer terrified of my mistake or the heat of it anymore. I dare to undo it and make my old past. And now let's take a step back and have the full look of the Dunning-Kruger effect journeys. Let me tell you one important rule. Listen, and yeah, you cannot skip from the valley of despair to get to the plateau of sustainability. You need to get through the fire. And let me tell you, my dear friend, as you walk through life, you will face many more challenges in life. You will get into bigger roles, and you will feel the burning panic of being an imposter one more time again, or even several times in your life. But when it happens, do not run away, because the phoenix must burn itself to ashes to reborn brilliantly. And now I'm asking you today, are you feeling that heat? Are you stuck inside of your valley of despair? Accept the heat and let it smash your illusions of safety. Grab the opportunity, my friend. Do not become the dreamer standing outside, terrified of getting burned, but jump into the fire. Let it refine you and walk out not as a survivor, but as the creator of your own life, your own dream. Thank you for listening, and I'm Nguyen Khanh, your speaker today.